Good morning again, everyone. Now that Hari asked you a few questions, I will also ask a question. Uh, what age are we in, as according to our teacher, teaching has said? Hari, there is an echo. What age? Dwapar. She knows, you know the answers. You have to be quiet sometimes. Yes. No, according to our teaching, as I said, no, you probably haven't heard of it. Yes. What is the significance of Dwapara Yuga? What is it? It is age of energy. Yes. What does it actually say? Meaning everything around us is energy. And in fact, it also says that we are energy. Isn't that so? Now, if we are all energy, which is like we are identified normally, like, no, that is Chika, that is Hari, I'm Amit, sort of a different thing. Now, we are here saying that we are all energy. But isn't there something different? We can still see very, very different forms, isn't it, here? So when we talk about energy, we are all energy, that is true. What else is energy? Our bodies, our form, they're not as solid as they look like, isn't it? They also say that they are like sort of small particles in vibration. So this is, in fact, energy. Even our own formations within inside ourselves, like our emotions. Angry people, have you seen that? Have you experienced anger inside you? Nobody's nodding their head. I knew I was alone. I was unique in this. Yes. There is something. You know how it feels like. Have you ever felt some jealousy or some other kind of negative emotions? Yes. Have you ever felt love inside your heart? Yes. But this is different, isn't that? These are all energy formations, but we can identify. We say we don't get confused between anger and love. We say that, and that is exactly, but these are all, though when we say this is an age of energy, these are all, they have all their own different texture. We won't confuse one with the other, we exactly know. In India, I think we follow this astrology a lot, isn't it? Like we have this time, and then they talk about the nakshatras, and then the planets, and then how the planets influence all of us and whatnot. I wasn't necessarily quite interested in that, not necessarily refusing it, but just too intellectual. No, so I thought, no, I'll figure all those things out myself. But then, again, one of our very popular, he's an Ananda person, Drupada, and he helps people to understand their charts, and then we probably have discussion with some of you around here as well. So when I started at Ananda, everything was just blissful. I think most of you will resonate that experience. And that went on for a number of years. And then inevitably, we can't stop Earth from moving, and especially the other planetary evolution circuitry which is moving also, the influence changes. It is as if like we are trying to say, the ocean, there is this full tide and low tide and high tide, no? Based on wherever what is. It just continues to go on. Even in my own life, things started shifting. All of a sudden, that blissful phase I was going through wasn't not as blissful as that was. And these energies, as we were just talking about, I started feeling something different. I thought this was over. When we talk about practicing spirituality, I always thought it is going to be like this calm, peace, and lake. I will always be in that blissful samadhi state. And I was like that, not necessarily samadhi, but quite joyful for a number of years, you see. And I thought, okay, this is my life. It is done deal. And I was serving and doing all the right things that they were telling me. But all of a sudden, without particular reason, not that I did something wrong or right, just things changed. Now I can say that it is some shift happened and it is an inevitability, but I didn't like it at all. Things I felt which was long past gone, they just came back to my home as if they were all, we're back. And I told them, no, we're done with each other, but they were just not there. And in this same time, I used to run a school, and then what they asked as a part of an exercise, they say, we sometimes as children, we draw our own pictures. They say, you don't draw your picture, but you draw how your inner life looks like. So I drew something very beautiful. I drew a beautiful lake, nice big mountains, bird flying, a nice place where I can sit, a nice beautiful house. And I drew a big, gigantic mountain. And on the other side of a mountain, I also drew a small island. And that wasn't as beautiful as that. And so after that, they asked to describe, what is it? You have to tell now. So I told about all the beautiful things, and then he asked, what is that island? He says, anything that I don't like inside me, I banish them onto that island. And that big mountain is there, which I don't want to look at them. And that was actually a part real. What was not entirely real is that beautiful things I was trying to decorate in. That probably was once my reality, but it wasn't there. That was probably an aspiration, a glimpses of that, but a big portion of mine was there, banished onto that island. And I was not interested or willing even to look at them. So after some time, when I talked about this astrologer, he told me how to look at those energies, though however difficult or challenging they could be. Which is one of the most notorious planet that we know of. Shani Maharaj. Whenever he comes to visit, he doesn't come. No, just the way we expect some austere Swami coming our home. However much we like him or her to come and visit our home, we also know we are inviting trouble, isn't it? But it also brings to us something which is much more deeply fulfilling. And that's why he asked me to look at it. And something in that thing resonated me. And that's the first time I was ready to look at, go above that mountain and look what is there. And that helped me a lot. Because you see, as these things change, is there here anybody who's perennially angry, always angry, eternally angry? Is there anyone like that? No. Is there anybody here who thinks, I have love in my heart all the time? Once it came and it never left. As they say in our teaching, the only constant in this life is change. And that change itself isn't as difficult as the refusal to that change, creating that mountain. The moment I dropped that mountain, all those energies just becomes friends. Not that they were easy, but I at least had a communication with them, and through that, we could work with. Very recently, Megha, myself, and then Hari and Chika, we have this small satsang in the most popular corner in our Delhi ashram. And we were talking about how we relate this, what is the metaphor? And then the metaphor is about a river. Now, if I ask you, what is the purpose of a river? What is the goal of a river?
Constantly
flowing. And what is the destination? To the ocean. You see, like as long as there is water, as long as there is substantial, the river will continue that flow. Will she ever stop? No. But you see, is it a straight line? Even when we draw a painting or something, we always have a curve within the river. And we have seen the river as well. It is not that when you look at it, though her destination is crystal clear at any point in time, there is absolutely no doubt about where she is heading towards. She adjusts, adapts. And wherever she is going, whatever path she is touching, what do we see? It's all flourishing. People come and live close to the river banks. Animals come because they have lots of food there. All the plants, it's all very beautiful. Flora and fauna, maximum. Because the river, though her interest only, final destination is fixed, she doesn't stop working where she is at this very moment. If there is a big place that she found, it's a very calm river. If she found something which is very rocky, then we see like a little bit shallow, uchal-kood wala river. At times she comes on a cliff, she doesn't. She finds the courage to jump down the cliff and continues her path. There is at any point, it is not fixed what is required of her. But she adapts, and not only embraces that situation, and you see the result of it. No matter what part of the river that you are seeing, there is still something about her. Something which gives us that sukoon, the lasting fulfillment, isn't it? Can we be like that? You see, at any point, these energies come to us. We have our own things, isn't it? When we look at ourselves, we say, I am like this. This is my personality. This is my strength and force. We work with them. Destination. Is the destination of all of us clear? Yes, the final merger in God. But how we go there, we don't need to stop for that and work with it. Now the main challenge comes, how do we do it? You see, and that also we have to ask who knows how to do it. That is the river. We ask her how. Because when we look at her, there is a stillness there. She's moving, yes, but somehow, and that's why in India we actually don't call rivers just a river or anything, no? These are all goddess. Ganga was a goddess in the form of a river. They have something to teach us also. And that is because they always have that presence, no matter where you go, they don't lose that connection, while she is moving. And that's why anybody asks for it, they're always present there. One of the first fundamental techniques of meditation that Yogananda just taught us, which is, which technique? Hong So. Hong So technique. And Hong So, what is Hong So? It stands for I am He. And then again, if we want to make it even more, to make it more understandable, sometimes we say I am that. I am the spirit. Now, we talked about all these energies. We talked about anger, love. We talked about our form. And in our meditations, Paramahansa Yogananda ji asks us to sit down and affirm, I am that. Now, what is that? I am He. Who is He? Is He something sitting next door? Is He something sitting down in the meditation cave? Is it something there outside sitting in the murti? Who is He? And he says again, it is just the same spot within ourselves. When we talk about describe ourselves, we have the capacity to not only describe our physical form, but we have the capacity to talk about our emotions. We see, that was a difficult phase, or that was an easy phase. How do we know all that things? Because within ourselves also is there a space which is able to observe all these things, just like it was always there. There is a story from the life of Saint Anthony of Desert. And he was a very austere kind of saint, so he just left everything and spent most of his life in the desert. And while he was meditating, many challenges was brought to him, many temptations, and he writes about them as well. And then he would continue with those challenges one after the other. And one of the last times, almost the cave where he was sitting, the roof of that cave was about to fall off. And then he was constantly praying for guidance and being there. And then finally when it was falling off, and this is just when he was praying, God appears to him. And then that was his final test, and he survives. And he asked God, where were you all these times? And to that, again, Yogananda ji tells this story very beautifully in his own Bengali accent. He says, Anthony, I was just the same with you. What it means is basically we feel at times, when the trials come or when tribulations come, we feel that God has left me. But it is not true at all. You see, what is it when we even say that God has left me, or how far it is? It is just some things inside us making that distance a single thought. A single thought. And that is what Yogananda says, why do you go and choose and hug this thought so much that you make the God distant? He said, those who think me near, I am near. So simple. Think me near, I will be near. But rather than embracing that thought, at times we just reject it and we embrace something completely different. As I was saying, in my experience, it wasn't the problem that those energies fighting on that island. What was is that my embracement to that I do not want to look at them. Me and that who doesn't want to look, just going hand in hand. And as a result, nothing else was happening. The moment I said, I don't want you, instead, I look for something else. How simple it was. And this is what Master says, choose your company correctly. When we talk about I am that, in our meditations, we find that we get the glimpses of that spot within ourselves. And he says, throughout the day, now do the same thing. Just correct your identity. Just fix it so that we connect ourselves to that which is not changeable, which is always there, which is always perceiving. And why? Because that has the answers. You see, that is where binds all of us together. We say these are our gurus. All of us, we say that. They are where? Are they there in the pictures there or the beautiful murtis we have? No, the same eternity as Hari was reading, which spoke to us through these vessels, we are also part of that same eternity. That same spark also is inside us. And that is what we affirm again and again. In our meditation, we say, I am that. The more in our meditation and throughout the day, we just choose to work from that center, everything else is taken care of. Joy to you.